Now, let's move into the public comments part of the meeting. I see a lot of folks on here from the volunteer, or from the Veterans Center of East Tennessee. I ask that you just keep it each to within 3 minutes. If you're going to repeat something that somebody else has already said, just let it be said before you, okay? Because we've got a bunch to move through. So let's go with Jessica Paul.
Hello and good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for having us here. We've fought for a year to try to be just in front of you guys. I am Jessica Paul. I am the co-founder and secretary of VeteransCenter of East Tennessee. What qualifies me to be there is the fact that I am not only the wife of a veteran, I'm a daughter of a veteran, I'm a niece of a veteran, I am the great-granddaughter of a veteran, I'm a great-granddaughter of a veteran, so if you get the point, I was raised with beliefs of believing that we serve our veterans. The women in my family taught me that you stand behind them and you honor and cherish them regardless of what wounds they brought back from war. Speaking of wives of veterans, I'd like to talk about our treasurer. Since this is funds that the center is requesting, I would like to talk about her and her qualifications. She is our secondary signature on our bank account. She has access to all of our funds. We do not want any access to funds. Her education, her name is Deborah Tapp, if you all do not know who she is. Her education is business management accounting from Walter State. Her work experience began in June 1998 to October of 2018. Her volunteer experience is secretary of the Hawkins County Community Advisory Board for 6 years and helped them acquire 501c3 for the Hawkins County chapter. She helped organize, then served as secretary and treasurer for Hawkins County Anti-Drug Coalition for 4 years. She helped them to acquire their 501c3. She served as treasurer for the Rogersville Area Church Council for 8 years, and currently she serves as a board member, treasurer, and head of the finance committee for VeteransCenter of East Tennessee. She works with the director, secretary, and grant writer to create the budget and prepare info for grants. She also prepares our 990, which she has every ounce of information. It just needs to be submitted. Also, in your folders, I separated 3 different flyers in there, and I'd like to go over them individually.
You've got a minute, Jessica. You've got 1 minute.
These questions, okay. The questions and concerns about the rent is in there. This, I would like everybody to take a notification on this right here. This is times that the center is utilized. It is not specifically veterans. It is a veteran. It's not giving them each individually a name. And as you can see, we started already our 12-step recovery in June. So far, 469 times the center has been utilized for recovery just to December. And finally, speaking about recovery, this is why we started our recovery program. Me and my husband are both in recovery, so is a bunch of veterans that we have, but it's because of Riley Hicks, because he passed away April of 2023. And before you hear the mother of his children speak, I would like for you to recognize who Riley is by reading this right here. That's all I have. Erica?
Thank you. Erica Hicks. 3 minutes, ma'am. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Keep
So
it
I'm
under
just
the-
here as like on his behalf, because, I mean, if he would have had somewhere like that to go, maybe things would have been different.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much why I'm here. And, you know, finding him in the situation I did was very difficult. So they have been a huge support to me and my family. So I do see the benefits of it, and I do see other veterans that were there that I got to meet through the process. So I do feel like that Rogersville, you know, should support the veterans because, like I said, he felt like nobody understood where he came from and what he had went through. And if he did have the veterans support, maybe it would have turned. I'm not going to say what if, because I mean, that's not really fair either, but
Okay.
thank y'all.
Thank you. Next will be Morgan Bartley.
I'm Morgan Bartley. I am a service-connected disabled combat veteran. I had service in several different countries, most importantly in Iraq. Upon return from Iraq, unfortunately things like the VeteransCenter of East Tennessee did not exist. Also, I'm a board member with the VeteransCenter of East Tennessee. And part of my journey home was the inability to learn how to transition from a military lifestyle to civilian lifestyle. I began to isolate because I felt as though I was on my own. I wasn't real sure how to connect with other people in my community once I was actually released from service. And during that time, I became a drug addict and alcoholic myself. I am a divorcee because of a lot of the things that I came home with. Unfortunately, my ex-wife was a very good woman, but it's very difficult to learn how to deal. She had no way to learn how to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder veteran. And also, like I said, I returned home dealing with drug addiction and alcoholism as a coping mechanism. Because of that, I was isolated and heavily alone. I have several suicide attempts under my belt, and was kind of in a rural area just like Rogersville, and nowhere to go, nowhere to know really how to get help. I went to the VA for 6 months for intensive drug rehabilitation and PTSD treatment. Upon leaving the domiciliary there as a residential patient, I returned to another rural area where there are no kind of resources in any kind of way to deal with what I had kind of going on internally. So I thought leaving there I would be okay, and before too long, unfortunately, I returned to using drugs and alcohol. After about 3 months of doing that, I got connected to, I actually met Jess and Mike before they started the center, and was able to kind of connect with them. And through that process, I've become connected to the Vet Center, and I've now been 3 years completely abstinent free from drugs and alcohol. In May, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, a minor in social work. And a lot of that has to do with them being on my side and helping me propel in trying to better my life and the lives of other veterans. So I absolutely commend that, and I want to also be a part of that. I want to show that way that veterans can get better. There's a way to do that, and I would like to be one to help support them through that. So thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. All right, next we have David Sherlock.
Excuse me. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. You just heard my story. That story is like tens of thousands of combat veterans. It's a tough road to hoe. I'm a Rogersville resident, a churchgoer. I believe in family, this country, God, and we need family to stick together, and it starts here with all of us. I know what each and every one of these veterans have given to their country. We're asking only for funds to do what we're already doing. I was addicted to heroin when I came back from Afghanistan. I went through the VA's recovery program and the intensive outpatient program. But the VA wants me to keep in contact with the community on a weekly basis with a drug program and a PTSD program that also is 12-step oriented and faith-based. Jessica and Mike provide those already at the center. You can't believe the change that takes place in a veteran's life when he connects to other people who have gone through the same thing and are in recovery. We reach behind and grab soldiers and bring them up to us. And that's That's what we're doing at that center. Anytime you want to come down and see it, we're there every day. I volunteer there. I volunteer at the VA in Johnson City. These veterans, a number of them are first responders. So when we got out of uniform, we didn't stop serving. We continue volunteering. We're members of your community. Sometimes visibly you'll know that we're veterans. Sometimes just, you know, it's who we are, and you might, after a couple times meeting us, you realize what we've been through. But we're worthy of your consideration. We're worthy of this monetary grant. I think it's been proven that we're already doing what the grants meet of what they needed for us to be doing. So I think it's a good fit, and God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. Next, Dey Yates.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dey Yates. My wife, Dawn, and I lived on West Fair Hollow Road, Rogersville, and for the record, neither of us are veterans. We simply serve because we should. Dawn and I facilitate the Wednesday morning Life Recovery meeting at the Veterans Center. Life Recovery is a 12-step recovery program developed by Christian therapists and authors Steve Arterburn and David Stewart. It can be simply described as AA with Jesus Christ as a higher power. I'm also participating in the Friday 11 a.m. AA meeting at the center known as Veterans in Recovery. Dawn also serves the center as an assistant board member, primarily because of her training and 18 years of experience as a paralegal. She's employed by a local attorney. I, along with some of the other volunteers, am going to be undergoing training through the Tennessee Department of Health program for certification as a certified peer recovery specialist to bring a professional, consistent quality to the drug, alcohol, and compulsive behavior treatment programs offered to veterans at the center. I fulfill the requirements of the Department of Health, primarily the requirements that applicants for the CPRS designation have personally achieved long-term sobriety from drug or alcohol abuse. I have achieved continuous sobriety for over 35 years due to the grace of God and the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. In addition, we will be required to complete Department of Health training protocols, followed by 1-year supervision by a person already certified as a CPRS. My wife, Dawn, and I are committed to the mission of the center. We've witnessed the sacrifices that Michael and Jessica have made in the year that we've served at the center. They've operated the center on donations and a lot of prayer for 2 years. We would respectfully request the Commissioners approve our request for funding. The center enriches the lives of those who have faithfully served. I have 55 seconds. Do any of you have any questions? That's it.
Thank you so much. All right, Steve Hardin.
Thank you, Commissioners, for giving me the privilege to come and speak to you this evening. My name is Steve Harding. I am a resident of Rogersville. I came to know Mike and Jessica Paul a couple of years ago through our local recovery programs in Rogersville. I am an alcoholic drug addict in recovery for over 8 years. Once I met them, I became very interested in them. I am a civilian, like I said. My father was a career Marine Corps aviator. So I have a heart for veterans and the service that they have done for our country. I had stayed in contact with Mike and Jessica, and when we had the Ride for Riley, fortunately I have a motorcycle and I was able to come and ride with them, and we had a deep conversation about bringing an actual Alcoholics Anonymous meeting into the center. I didn't know Sergeant Hicks personally. but I actually do know his family from my church. And so I was deeply touched by the loss of life that he suffered because of opiate addiction. I do facilitate an AA meeting on Friday mornings at 11 a.m. at the center, as they graciously asked me to do, and I was more than willing to serve in that capacity as a civilian volunteer. I have heard amazing stories of recovery and hope while I've been there, and you know, I've seen amazing things happen there, and I'm honored that they asked me to come and share this journey with them. I know their struggles. They have had to support themselves for the last year, and I know they have given and given and given, and they love this community. They love veterans. I won't burden you with much more than that. I sent an email out to you today describing mostly of what was going on, but I just thank you for this opportunity to serve, and I ask that you do consider funding the Veterans Center. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Chris Cooley.
Do I just stand right here?
Yes, sir. You have 3
I'm legally
minutes.
blind, that's why I asked.
Yeah, you're good.
My name's Chris Cooley, and I'm an alcoholic drug addict, sobriety date March 22nd, 2019. And I've been attending meetings up there at the Veterans Center every Wednesday and Friday. And let me tell you guys what, it is the real deal up there. Because in the 12-step recovery where I got sober at, it was all about a man working with another man to keep them sober. And out here at the Veterans Center, it's a veteran working with another veteran. The way that it only can be done is a veteran working with another veteran, because, like Mike and Jessica teached me, the only way, really, for somebody to understand a veteran is it be another veteran. And I'm going to keep it short and just ask that you guys please consider funding them, and just also say that Mike and Jessica really, and the whole Veterans Center, Dave and all of them up there, all really put the veteran first the way it should be. That's all I got to share. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. All right, one more Veterans Center speaker, Michael Paul.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having us here and giving us an opportunity to stand in front of you guys. Like my wife said, we've been trying to get up here for a year. Just real quick, if I could I get everybody that volunteers at Veterans Center to step up here behind me, please? Yeah. All of you. Board of directors, everybody. Now, I wish that me and my wife could take the credit for Veterans Center of East Tennessee. But we can't. Everyone that you see standing here is Veterans Center of East Tennessee. These are the people that care about the veterans in this community. These are the people that want to see veterans' lives saved. And I ask you folks, is a veteran's life really worth money? Thank y'all for having us here. I really can't say much more. These guys said everything and explained everything that's about the Veterans Center. And I want to thank y'all so much for giving us the opportunity to stand here in front of you. It's an honor. Thank you guys so much. And I want to say thank you to my team at Veterans Center.
No worries.
We couldn't do any of what we do without these guys. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for your time.
Resolution 2024-0203, introduced by Commissioner Bartley.
To the Honorable Chairman Martin Webb, the members of the Hawkins County Board of Commission in regular session met this 26th day of February 2024. Resolution in reference approval to allot funds for contribution to the Veterans Center of East Tennessee. Whereas Hawkins County has received settlement proceeds under the opioid settlement fund past remediation, and whereas the county legislative body wishes to provide rehabilitation for members of the community in need of mental health or drug addiction services, whereas the Veterans Center of East Tennessee, located in Rogersville, Tennessee, specializes in suicide prevention and promotes drug and alcohol recovery amongst veterans and their household family members. And whereas the nonprofit also provides legal assistance, aid in obtaining employment and coping classes, therefore be it resolved that the Hawkins County Commission Budget Committee appropriates $95,000 be allotted and distributed to the VeteransCenter of East Hawkins County as a contribution out of the opioid settlement funds received for alcohol and drug programs, as per the following budget amendment. And that's, the money would come out of the general fund and be dedicated to that. Mr. Chairman, I so move.
We've got a motion from Commissioner Barker, second Commissioner Gibson. Commissioner Palmer.
Jessica or Michael, we are here. So, just for clarification, I know there's been a lot of questions. I'm familiar with some of the terms that, you know, you all spoke to us in other meetings, but can you elaborate more for those who may not know? Like, so we talked about the counseling and the certified peer recovery and peer support groups, just that way everybody's on the same page.
Okay. All right. First, we are going to be stepping into the Certified Peer Recovery Specialist program, which is going to be able to certify 5 volunteers. These are not people getting paid. They're just volunteers to be certified and to help the veteran. Also, then after we get that goal accomplished, then we will be stepping into the alcohol and drug counseling, because it would be redundant to try to start with the A&D counseling before we do the Certified Peer Recovery Specialist.
Okay. Any other questions?
All I can say is you better spend it wisely.
Okay. Hearing no other comments or questions, let's go ahead and vote, please.
Twelve yes, 1 abstain, 1 absent.
All right. Resolution carries. And I just want to say to Michael and Jessica, thank you. You have jumped through more hoops than most other nonprofits have ever even thought about jumping through to get your money. And we appreciate it. We appreciate any putting up with all of us and all of our questions, and wish you much success with your programs.
We're here to serve your veterans. So.